What's up, guys? This is Angela. I'm here with John and Tamara on this episode of Honey and Hustle. John, you guys may have seen before on a previous episode. He's of Creator Group. He's a realtor here in Raleigh. And he introduced me to our new friend Tamara. Well, new to me, old friend to John, who has started her own nonprofit called Jog For Good. I think it's really amazing that nonprofits in nature are businesses that are dedicated to highlighting their cause, highlighting a population of people that they really feel want to have inclusivity in our society and in our communities. So I'd love to turn it over to Tamara and tell her more about what you do and why you started Jog For Good.
Okay, thank you. My name is Tamara Friend. A lot of people know me as Tamara Stevenson. But I started Jog For Good with my twin sister, Tara, and my cousin, Ashley. And we were talking one day about what was going on the news and what we've been seeing. And I asked them, honestly, should I be wearing a shirt that says I'm just jogging so that people know that I'm not out robbing houses or doing something nefarious that's gonna end me in jail or end my life? And we kind of laughed it off, but it's a very serious issue. Living in Raleigh, we do feel really safe, but we do recognize that people in other parts of the country don't feel as safe as we do, and they need a voice. They need an advocate behind them. And so we started Jog For Good initially to start giving to these organizations that were helping our community, organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's not just focused on race issues, but all kinds of social injustices that include the LGBTQ community and people of color, people from an impoverished background. So our hope is to one day everyone in every part of this country feels as safe as we do living in Raleigh.
Yeah, awesome. And just to, I guess, move forward with what you're talking about, in nonprofits, there's so many facets to that, because there's the activism, there's education, but there's also fundraising, right? So getting money in the hands of people who can create change at a policy level and at an interpersonal level as well. And of course, maybe I'm biased because Southern Poverty Law Center is heralded in my state of Alabama, so little ties, Southern Poverty Law Center. No, I mean, it's great that you have identified organizations that aren't, just political in nature, aren't just race-based in nature, but really truly are focused on just creating positive change and really reaching across, party lines, any kind of line that you have in society just to create good and start conversations around something that's meaningful.
So how did you choose those organizations that you chose? And is there dots that you want to connect between them, holistically?
Initially, when we were looking at choosing these organizations, we were thinking, we really want to keep it local. My sister, Tara, who lives up in Ohio, picked the Ohio Organizing Coalition. And the Southern Poverty Law Center was chosen because my husband and I already donate to the Southern Poverty Law Center. So it was something that, already a cause that was near and dear to our heart.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to starting a nonprofit, I mean, a lot of times it's associated with, grant funds, self-funding, private donors, things of that nature. What would you say about people who are maybe interested in taking the risk to create an organization for a cause or for a population of people that are maybe hesitant about where the money is going to come from for them to actually do what they want to do or reach the people that they want to reach?
So I will say that Jog For Good was started 100% out of our own pockets. We haven't accepted any grant funding. We thought if we're going to make t-shirts and people are going to want to wear those t-shirts, then the least we can do is send that, donate those proceeds to an organization that's going to help the cause. Mm-hmm. It took very little. It was, I think we spent less than $1,000 to get this up and off the ground. We all kind of tried to organize around our know-how. I know how to build websites. My sister knows a lot about starting a business. She owns her own business up in Columbus with her wife. And my cousin knows a lot about social policy. She's very active on Twitter. I think she has over 13,000 followers, which is kind of insane.
That's a good following.
I think I have like 100.
So like we talk about like entrepreneurship and like building businesses, right? In some of our like past videos, like and Tana, because I know you do like you do BVB like arrivals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that like how do you bring that all together, right? All those skill sets to be successful for Jog For Good?
Oh, that is a very good question. I wish they would have told me about these questions so I can prepare.
No, this is off the dome. No, you just gotta keep it real.
So as John stated, I am very active at the Alzheimer's Association. My great-grandmother had Alzheimer's, so it's something that is another cause that's near and dear to our hearts. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars since I've been working with that organization, and learning the ins and outs of nonprofits and how to navigate those sponsorship fields and kind of get sponsors has lent a hand in allowing us to establish this organization and grow it from the ground up. Tara was also heavily involved in the Alzheimer's Association. Ashley is also very heavily involved in local nonprofits as well. She also worked with the Alzheimer's Association, and she works with other local political organizations as a grassroots effort to get people out to vote and to get candidates in front of people who might not know that these candidates exist, who support policies that are closer to people, hits close to home.
So one thing I find that in business, and John, you can tell me if this has been your experience as well, but one thing I was told very early on when I started this business is not to put my political or religious views out there. Not because there's anything wrong with them, but because at the end of the day, you'll never 100% agree with anyone or everything that you agree with. And so it could be a deterrent for people wanting to do business with you. And with a nonprofit, it's inherently personal. It's inherently something that you're passionate about, something that you care deeply about. And so how do you kind of navigate that space where it's, something that is kind of political, but also is something personal and something that you feel is a just cause?
It's interesting to me when people say, this is a political topic, because, it's almost as if, walking around with brown skin automatically makes you political these days. And that shouldn't be the case. And that's one of the optics that we're trying to change. This is not just a people of color problem. This is a nationwide systemic issue that should not be on anyone's political scales, or it shouldn't be used as political gain. This should 100% be used to try to improve people's lives. And so if someone were to tell me, this is a very political topic that you're trying to broach, or a subject that you're trying to broach, it's, my purpose is not to be political. My purpose is to bring this conversation to the table. And hopefully with these, with the organizations that we're choosing to support and with the t-shirts that we're making, it starts a conversation. Because if people aren't even coming to the table for a conversation, then we can't really move forward. We move nowhere.
Yeah, I think like based on what you say, people, they gravitate towards what charities, nonprofits they want to donate towards, right? It's something they have a passion for. Like my son had heart surgery, so we donate to Mend of Little Hearts, right? Because it's something that we went through, as parents with our son. So now we're like, okay, this is something that means something to us because this organization helped us get through a tough time in our life, right? So yeah, it's definitely going to be very subjective to people, like how they choose to donate towards any nonprofit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to creating conversations about not only your nonprofit, but the cause that it stands for, how do you hope to facilitate those conversations to create change and to create inspiration for people to feel led to donate or led to participate in your cause?
Again, another good question.
Getting deep.
So I feel like right now it's really, really difficult to have a conversation because everyone is sequestered in their houses, social distancing, and really further removing themselves from the conversation. And our hope is to kind of start the conversation. I have friends who actually text me and said, "Hey, should I be getting a I'm just jogging t-shirt?" I mean, I'm white. And I know that people aren't going to look at me and target me when I'm running. I know that I'm 100% safe. But I think that is the point, is that you're wearing this t-shirt
to support.
And in solidarity.
Yeah.
You're showing people that, you know, I think if you're white and you're wearing the t-shirt, people are going to be like, well, why is she wearing that t-shirt? And there you go. There's the conversation.
Yeah.
It's that recognition that there is a disparity. You don't have to wear that t-shirt and tell people that you're just jogging, because people can see it by your skin color, that they don't need to assume that you're out robbing houses.
Yeah.
I don't even like to jog.
So if you're wearing a t-shirt and you're shopping, you're like, dude, you're shopping. You
Well, you got the mask too, right? They say I'm just shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, this t-shirt was really, the I'm Just Jogging concept was made in memory of Ahmaud Arbery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, you know, we understand that everybody isn't, you know, every Black person who goes out to jog doesn't get shot. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
But does it cross our mind when we go out to jog that we might be a little bit unsafe? Yeah. Absolutely. So,
yeah. As soon as I saw like your the name for your business, that's immediately what I thought of. You know, even though it's an incident that really happened in February, it didn't really get press until recently of this year. And I think timing is important when you launch a business or launch an idea or try to start a conversation around a certain topic. You kind of have to read the room and kind of see like, what are people talking about right now? What are people interested in talking about right now? And why are they interested? And how can we contribute positively to that conversation?
Yeah, and I think it's a good time, right? Because we're quarantined, you know, for the most part, and people are probably spending time researching, you know, these things and bringing awareness to themselves, and just hopefully educating themselves on what's going on in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important for people to realize, being on social media platforms, that you can get yourself in a situation where you're not being completely open to different types of conversations, and kind of step out. It's important for you to step outside of your comfort zone and start to ask those really hard questions.
Yeah.
And how do you do that when you're not really hanging out that much anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your definition of success for Jog for Good? Like, when you feel like, hey, this has been successful.
So I feel like if we even reached one person, then we've experienced a level of success. And our intention was not to, be like in front of the world saying, you know, here's our cause. But our intention was really to start the conversation and feel like we're doing something, anything, not just sitting and staying silent, but getting up and attempt to change people's concepts and viewpoints.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So what advice would you have for someone who is maybe on the fence about starting a nonprofit? Maybe they feel like there's not a big enough audience, or maybe they feel like they don't know how to use their platform to create a conversation that's meaningful around something they're passionate about. What advice would you have for someone who's kind of in that position and maybe just needs a little motivation to take that extra step and go ahead and get started as a nonprofit?
I would say do your research and don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. If you have someone who you see that has been successful, go ahead and reach out. People are not really shy about having these conversations. There's obviously there's a little bit of effort that you have to put into it. I'm not going to say a little bit, there's a lot.
Yeah. It's a business, right?
Yeah, it is a business, and you have to have a certain level of commitment. But even if you feel like you don't necessarily have the support now, there's people out there who will be extremely supportive. And even if you can just find that one person who supports you, sometimes that's all you need.
So what are like some of the skill sets that you're taking from your education background, your work background? Like what are you using to, and even like your experience in nonprofit with like ALZ, like what are the biggest skill sets that you're using that people might want to learn or kind of start to research, like you said?
What's really important for if you want to start a nonprofit is to have the right allies in your corner. I mean, everybody can't know everything. If it was just me running this business, then it would take me a lot longer, and I probably would have a very difficult time.
So we talk about networking and how it helps our businesses, right? So like what are some people you've met with that have helped you kind of like get this thing launched off?
So right now, I'm working with a local business in Raleigh, getting the t-shirts printed. They've been really great. They've been really fast. Raleigh Screen Print. Okay. And then working with a local mask designer here in Raleigh, Custom Threads. I think and that's something that I've gotten from working with Blondes versus Brunettes Rivals Raleigh is these business contacts.
Yeah, you have that an existing relationship, so now they want to work with you, you want to work with them because you have that rapport, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
So getting out and networking in the community is paramount.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most difficult parts about starting a business, let alone a nonprofit right now.
Yeah.
Because you can't go out and you can't be in front of people.
Yeah. There is virtual networking. Whether or not it's the same or as effective as you would like it to be, I don't know, but it exists. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. Thank you, John, for being an awesome co-host for today.
You're welcome. You guys, if you want a Jog For Good t-shirt, how do we get one?
Go to jogforgood.com. You can also visit our Facebook page, Jog For Good. And we also have a Twitter page, Jog For Good, @JogForGood, and Instagram.
And what if we want to donate?
If you want to donate, if you want to be a sponsor or donate directly, I would encourage you to reach out to us at jogforgood@gmail.com. And you can always donate to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Ohio Organizing Coalition on your own as well, if those are organizations you wish to donate to directly.
So last question, are you guys going to try and like put together kind of like a 5K, some kind of like event, and what's that going to look like, and is there a timeline for that?
Yeah, you read my mind. So our hope is to not necessarily put together a 5K, but to put together a group of people who are running under the team name Jog For Good.
Awesome. Okay.
Nice. Love it so much. I don't run, but I appreciate the concept. Okay, so yeah. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being awesome guests. Like this video if you liked it. Leave us a comment. If you're interested in starting a nonprofit, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Follow them on Instagram.
Yes. Do that. Bye.